probably should have tested that first. All right, guys, welcome in here. It is Pony Pundits time as we are back on the Kentucky Derby prep trail. Hard to believe here as we get ready, end of just around the corner, the end of March, then it'll be April, and before we know it, craziness will ensue. But we've got plenty of opportunities between now and the Kentucky Derby to cash a few tickets. And we're hoping to do so with the Louisiana Derby this weekend as we welcome in the pundits themselves as Marco D'Angelo back in the house here. Sig has lost a little weight. That's not Sig. It's Sean Alvarez. Sean Alvarez in the house here filling in and stepping up for Sig here today. Sean, always a pleasure to see you. Marco, I believe this is the very first of the 100-point races we got coming up here, which means I'm guessing the standings are going to move pretty dramatically here over the next couple of races.
Well, as the saying goes, Joe, it's rug cutting time, and we got to break this one down as we get to that final push for the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. And yes, appreciate Sean sitting in for us this week. We had a late scratch from Sig. I don't know if he came up lame or if he, failed a drug test. I don't know. He might have been talking with Bob Baffert. We'll see. But, hey, what would it be without me taking a shot at Bob and Sig? It wouldn't be a show. Come on.
Oh, well, listen, I'm shocked you didn't say he's the Dale Romans trained, so what the hell do you expect? So that would have been, I was waiting for that to be the next one there. But no, it's going to be, Sig will be back next week, guys. But Sean, always available, and we appreciate that, my man. Talk to us, the Derby. I mean, coming up, it's about to get real exciting. The horses and trainers are going to make a big push here over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, got to make a big push. We've already even we've seen the news as Marco alluded to with Bob kind of moving over some horses to try and get some 30 points. We've got the Louisiana Derby coming up. We're out in Dubai. Oakland Park is right around the corner. So, we're definitely going to see, the leaderboard change and kind of get a bigger or better picture of how the 20 horses that are going to go into the starting gate come the first Saturday of May. So it's a fun time to be a horse player, right?
No, it really is, and we love it. The Louisiana Derby getting ready to take center stage here. Guys, tomorrow, race number 12, I believe, is what we'll be looking at. So let's, before we dive into the actual entries, let me just remind you here, guys, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can certainly make this an extremely profitable weekend. And you can do so by visiting Marco and Sig's page. In fact, Sig's daily racing reports are available each and every race day by 9 a.m. If you head on over there, you'll be able to take advantage of his card for that day. And, of course, Marco is loving this time of year. We got horse racing. We've got Sweet 16, Elite 8, NHL, NBA. And right now, a 3-day all-access package, just $59, guys, and you'll get every one of his NBA and college basketball plays, along with the NHL, and not to mention the Louisiana Derby, his race card for the weekend, just $59 if you head on over to WagerTalk.com. All right, let's check them out here. What do we got in the Louisiana Derby? Well, we're going to have horse number 1 on this 9-horse field. And we are going to go to you, Marco, and I can't believe I'm going to you. It's a 50-1 shot, damn it. Silent Power, 50-1, Marco. Break it down for us. What do you think?
Well, because our guest analyst, Sean, is joining us, I took the odd numbers so I would get the 50-1 shot. But had it not been Sean and our regular resident pundit, who would have been starting off the parade. So, well, that's my intro to Silent Power, because I don't got anything good to say about this horse other than the fact his last race, he did come from the clouds, made a big close, got beat a length and a quarter, rallying from the back of the pack. But I can tell you, even that big move against a minor stake company, he's going to need to improve by leaps and bounds to hit the ticket in this one. That speed figure, Trackmaster figure of 88 doesn't get it done in this race. So for me, silent power will be no power. We're turning the lights out on him. I'm not using them on Saturday. So that means in recent shows when I've done that, throw him on your trifecta because he's probably going to run onto the ticket now.
Hold on, Marco. I'm typing it in as we speak, making that bet because you and I both know what's coming. Number 2, Zozos. Talk to us here, Sean. 8-1, rather, morning line. Tell me what you think of this horse.
Yeah, Marco, I appreciate you taking the 1 silent power because, there's nothing like handicapping a Kentucky Derby prep and needing to look up Delta Downs replays. That's never fun. Yeah, the two Zozos at 8-1. It's actually, I'm going to allude to it a little bit later in the show as my top pick, but I really think that this horse might be peaking at the right time. Now, I did get burned on a Brad Cox Derby future earlier, so maybe the tables can change for me here. But in the last race, he sat off kind of a slower fractions for the distance they were going. He kind of looked like this even money pace setter was going to just go on with the race, and Zozos just took over the lead and wound up winning off by more than 10 lengths. Now, improving 22 points in the Beyer speed figure, first thought in my mind is maybe this horse can bounce, but Brad Cox gives him about a month and a half layoff. He has a bullet drill 2 weeks ago. He got him to gallop out late or in his last workout, so I think he could be peaking at the right time and could be around at the wire come later in the day.
Brad Cox, always interesting when he brings his horses here, and this is another interesting horse here, Marco. Call Me Midnight, and boy, oh boy, it's we've seen this horse cash a few tickets here. What do you think of Call Me Midnight at 6-1?
Yeah, I saw Call Me Midnight run over my ticket back in January. Thanks for bringing that up.
Sorry.
I appreciate it, Joe. I had that race crushed, and here comes this horse out of the clouds that I said had no shot of being in the race. Well, here he is now. Now, the question is, after that big effort, the next logical step would have been to run this horse in the Risen Star. Trainer Keith DeSormo decided not to race in that race and point to this one. So we'll see what happens. Now, we'll talk about Epicenter, the horse he did beat last time out. Later in there, did race in the Risen Star and raced well. This horse benefited from fast fractions in his last race. They got to the half in 47 flat. There was a little bit of a battle on the front end before Epicenter put that horse away, and Call Me Midnight came flying on the outside. And I just don't think that they saw him coming from so far out, and he ended up nipping Epicenter at the wire. Will we get a fast fractions in this race? I think we're going to get a moderate pace. I don't think anybody really wants to run with Epicenter on the front end, which should give him some softer fractions, which will make it tougher for the pure closers. And that's what Call Me Midnight is. You can't fault that close last time, but I don't think he's going to get the fractions to set it up this time. I'm not using him in my top 4, but I will have him on the bottom end of maybe try in a superfecta just in case he runs on the ticket, but not a win candidate in my opinion.
Fool me once, fool me twice. Yeah, it ain't going to happen. You know it and I know it, Marco. All right, number 4, Curly Tail here, Sean Alvarez. Dallas Stewart bringing the long shot here and coming off really what is his best race. So what do you think of number 4, Curly Tail at 30-1?
There wasn't a lot to like on paper when I first looked at it, but after looking at the replays, 2 starts back, the horse to his immediate inside dove down to his nose, completely took away the path of Curly Tail, and he had to take out of it way too far back, had no chance. Obviously, as you said, ran a great effort last time out, but if you watch the replay, the race was a lot more strung out than what it's alluding to on paper. It looks like 6.5 lengths back at first and second call. That's going to be a little bit too much to overcome in a field like this, but that field was a little bit more strung out, going a little bit faster than I think that we're going to go today or tomorrow. Definitely not someone I'm going to play on the win in, but could spice up a trifecta or superfecta. I think at 30-1 definitely has a chance underneath.
All right. Well, we'll see if he can come from the clouds in this one. Number 5 here, Kupuna, Marco at a 8-1 early line here. What do you think about the number 5 here, the Stalker?
Yeah, this horse has the perfect running style. He's not going to be on the lead, but he's not going to be coming from way back in the pack. He'll be, like you said, he'll be a stalker mid-pack, which will give him first jump on the front end. This is, speaking of jumps, it's a big jump in class for this horse. He's coming out of maiden special weights and non-winners of one optional claiming allowance. This is a spot where if he continues to improve, which if you look at the lines, this horse has been ultra consistent. 4 starts, a win, 2 seconds, and a third. You can't fault that. Who doesn't like a horse that gets you a check every time he goes on the track? But he's got to make another step up. Now, his last speed figure suggests that he can go with these horses, and if he makes one more leap forward, it's going to put him right there. This is a horse that just missed being on my top 4 when we get to the end of the show. But as I said with the other horse, I will have him on the backside because I think he can run on this ticket. I don't think he's ready quite yet to run with these horses, so I don't have him in the win category. But this is a horse, don't sleep on him. He can hit the ticket on the backside.
All right, good stuff there. Moving on, number 6, the deserved favorite, some would say, Epicenter, 7-5 here for Steve Asmussen and Joel Rosario. Listen, what else can be said about this horse? Likes to win, likes to get out in front. What do you think he does here, Sean?
Yeah, as you said, it's definitely the deserving favorite. Love the fact that he can set the pace and run off like he did last time out in the Risen Star. He can also just sit off the pace like he did in the Gun Runner and run off by 6 lengths in that race. He's easily the horse to beat. If he repeats his effort last time out, he's probably getting this picture taken tomorrow. But I think in these kind of scenarios, it's good to handicap the humans just as much as the horses. And he's sitting on 64 Kentucky Derby points. Basically, no matter what the result is today, he's probably health-wise, he's going to be in the starting gate for Saturday in May. So I don't think Steve and the owners sat down and said, we really want to win the Louisiana Derby. They definitely want to be peaking that first Saturday in May. They don't want to leave it all out on this race. So, can he win going 75, 80%? Probably. But I think that there's other options in this race where you're not going to have to pay a premium to bet him.
All right, good stuff. Another interesting horse here coming in. Another one of the Risen Star alums here. Pioneer of Medina, 5-1 here, Marco. And I believe Pletcher flying in Tyler Gaffleon for this one. So what do you think of the number 7 at 5-1 here?
Yeah, if you look at his last race, and on paper, you look at it and you see that he was getting a perfect trip second and then faded to 4th. And you'd say, okay, that wasn't, that impressive. There's other horses in here that we can look at. But if you go back and actually watch the replay, he tried to run with Epicenter for most of that race last time out. And though he did fade to 4th, the 2 horses that passed him, he fought gamely to the wire. It was basically 3 horses across the track for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I was impressed with that effort. And remember, this horse, that was only his 5th career start. If he does that again in this one, and Epicenter goes to the lead like we expect him to do, and given what Sean just said is correct, they will want to win this race if they can, but they want to do it leaving gas in the tank. You don't want to have that gas tank on empty heading to Churchill Downs next month. So with that said, I think there's going to be a more modest fraction set in this race. And with Pioneer of Medina, if he runs that same style of race, he'll be sitting right there with Epicenter and could benefit from being drug around the track with him. I like him to hit this ticket. He's the horse that I put on to fill out my tries and supers in this race. Can he win? Probably not, but he is definitely one of the major contenders in the exotics. Look at Pioneer of Medina. And Todd Pletcher, as you said, bringing in Tyler, that's a good sign for this horse. So I look for improvement off his last start.
All right, good stuff there. Moving on to number 8, Galt. Holy Bull looked really good at Gulfstream. Almost destroyed himself there in the last one. But at 8-1, and I believe Junior Alvarado on top this time for Bill Mott. What do you think of Galt here, Sean?
Yeah, this one is not going to make my ticket on top or on bottom, but this is one of the more interesting horses in the race, specifically for a handicapping perspective, because while he's not the fastest horse by any means in this race, he's very smooth and quick in the stride. That race at the Holy Bull, he was quick out of the gate, and he's setting the same kind of fractions that Epicenter likes to set. So I think that he can kind of be up in that mix. He can throw out the family youth race, not just because he lost the jockey, but that mile and a 16th is like 100 yards in the first turn. He was in the 13th path. There was nothing Joel could do as far as positioning goes to be up front. He took back. It wasn't what he wanted to do. Cross the line through that. I really think that this horse, I don't think he's going to be around later. I think Junior wants to be up front. He wants to bother Epicenter, kind of be around where Tyler is on the 7 previously spoke about. For me and my handicapping, I hope that he kind of messes up the pace and allows for my top pick to kind of go on by in the turn.
All right, and that leaves us with the number 9 here, Marco. Rattle and Roll, Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez Jr., 6-1 on the early line here. What do you think of Rattle and Roll?
Well, Rattle and Roll was a horse that I was high on going into his last race in the Fountain of Youth, and I thought that he would be a bigger factor in that race, and he really wasn't. They got him, he stayed near the pace down along the rail, had a perfect rail ground-saving trip, and when he was asked, he flattened out top of the stretch. He was able to avoid all of the problems that happened in the Fountain of Youth because he was down on the inside. For me, the only excuse I can make for the horse is the fact that he needed a start. That was his first start since October. And you go back to that race in October, that was a huge win for him. Big power rating, Trackmaster 100 speed figure, wins going away. So thought he would come out of the box ready to fire. And since then, his trainer, Kenny McPeak, said that he needed a race. Well, no shit. Did you watch the race? He needed something. But this is the X factor. If he did need the race, and if you look at the last workout, which was an absolute bullet effort, he went 5 furlongs in 58 change. That's making it. Looks like the horse is ready to improve. I'm going to give him a pass on that last one. I think if he runs back to form, and if he did need the tightener, he got it. Let's see what he does on Saturday. This is a horse that does like to come from off the pace, so he's going to need some help up front, which I'm not expecting a lot of speed, but he is much more talented than some of the other closers we talked about who will need, basically suicide fractions to reach, in my opinion. I think this horse is a play on. I'm not going to have him run me over in this race, but I don't think he beats Epicenter, but I think he puts in a good effort and gets himself some solid points towards the Derby. So Rattle and Roll, hopefully he's not rattled and he does roll this week.
All right, be a pretty decent number there, too. There you got it, guys. 9-horse field, Louisiana Derby, the first of the 100-point Derby prep races. It is now time, moment of truth, to see what these guys' cards look like. So, as the guest, as filling in for Sig here today, Sean Alvarez, we're going to let you go first here, my friend. Tell us what your card looks like here for the Louisiana Derby.
Yeah, I kind of spoke about it earlier. My top pick is the 2 Zozos at 8-1. I really think that he's going to sit the trip with his last effort. If he can just improve off of that, it's only his 3rd start, so I don't see a reason why he doesn't improve off of that, or at least if he can repeat that effort, he's going to be very competitive. As much as I love the replay, I wound up throwing a 35-1 future on him. So I'll either love Sig for being sick, or maybe he cost me some money. So, like the 2 on top, I spoke about Epicenter, the 6. I'm not going to get beat by this horse, but it's not going to be a horse that I'm going to play a win ticket on at what I'm thinking is probably going to be even money. Easily the horse to, but taking in this race, I'm hoping he clocks up for second or third. And then the 5, Marco spoke about this as well with the 7 Pioneer of Medina. He's also going to kind of sit that trip, but he's going to need to improve. Could really spice it up for third. And just like Marco, I'm not going to get beat on Rattle and Roll. I do think he needed that race. And if he can kind of come similar and improve off that futurity race back in October, I think he's going to be dangerous as well.
All right, good stuff there. And, of course, Marco, time for the moment of truth here. What is your card? How close and similar does it look to Sean's here?
Well, we agree on 3 of the 4, and I really can't disagree with the one I don't have on there. I am putting Epicenter on top. And, guys, if you remember when we did the show back in January when he won his first start of the season, I said grab some Epicenter at 33 to 1 current price. I said because if he does what I think he's going to do in that race, you're not going to see 33 to 1 again in the future wagering. And right now he is one of the favorites, if not the favorite. I'm holding a 33 to 1 ticket. I hope you guys are too. I'm liking my chances with that. But as far as this race goes, he is the horse to beat. He is going to be on the front end dictating the fractions. And yes, they're going to race the horse to win, but they don't want to race him off his heels and go into the Derby with that gas tank empty. So with that said, I am putting Epicenter on top. I am putting number 9, Rattle and Roll. I expect this horse to make a major improvement off of his debut. I agree. 2, Zozos, however you say this horse's name. He is improving. There's no question about it, but this is a big jump. We've seen Brad Cox do this many times. The only thing I'm concerned about is Brad Cox, some of the ones that we liked earlier with his horses have fallen off the Derby trail. Is this one that actually is on the rise and deserves the shot, or is he just taking the next guy up and this is the best available to take a shot in this race? I think he can improve. I think he can hit the ticket, so I have him third. And then in the third or final spot, I should say 4th, I went to the 7, Pioneer of Medina. I could have interchanged the 7 with the 5 either way. I think both horses have a big shot of being on the ticket, and I'm going to have them both on the bottom end of the try and super. But I'll be keying 2, 6, 9 in the first 2 spots of my tickets. 6, 9, 2, 7 for me in the Louisiana Derby.
All right, awesome stuff there, guys. Plenty of racing still coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But again, it's going to start. Big race, 100 points up for grabs here on the trail to the Kentucky Derby at the Louisiana Derby. So again, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can go ahead, take advantage of Sig's daily racing report. That will be available, guys, by 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can grab his daily racing reports each race day, and you'll be able to get all of his racing cards for the day from tracks around the country. And Marco, man, what a weekend it's going to be here, guys, whether it's the NHL, NBA, college basketball still, or even what we've got going on here all racing weekend long, especially here at the Louisiana Derby. You can get every one of his plays for the next 3 days, $59 if you visit Marco's page at WagerTalk.com. Great opportunity to make it a very profitable weekend, especially at the track here this weekend, guys. So plenty to be decided over the next couple of weeks when it comes to the Kentucky Derby trail, and we've got you covered here on Pony Pundits. Sean, always a pleasure. Not really, but I'm told to say that, but it's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Thanks for stepping in for Sig. Marco, best of luck with the plays here, guys. There's a lot going on this weekend. Let's cash some tickets. Make sure you hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Come back and join us again for another edition of Pony Pundits next Friday, another race, another trail to the Derby. Until then, best of luck, guys. We'll talk to you again soon.
Get MLB through the World Series for $6.99. No coupon is needed, and this comes out to just over $3 per day. Once we hit 50 redemptions, the super early bird discount will come down, and the lowest possible price to lock in baseball will no longer be available. So act fast before you get shut out on our biggest price drop ever.